Welcome to Wednesday Comics. To my right, we have Alex the Axe Postrello. How you doing today?
Hello, everybody.
And across from me, Garrett the Hammer Walls. How you doing?
Good.
And I am Marvin Dragonfire Salguero. We are talking DC Metal today, so stick around for that. DC, it says in the book, event. I wasn't for sure, but it says event. So
I think it's an event.
Yeah, it's just, but they're not promoting it like that, except in the book. You know what I mean? It's not like they're like ads for it. They're not being like, this thing's going to change everything forever. I haven't seen that. It's just a cool thing. We'll talk about it later, though.
They're just going to slip it in Dystopia.
Speaking of ads, so I saw that DC, Marvel, with their Legacy thing coming up, that they're going to put ads on theaters and TV, right, to try to get fans in or try to get new people to read. I don't know if that's possible. Like, they're not actually starting over on anything, right? They're just changing the numbering back, and they're doing new arcs. So
bringing it back to basics is what they
do you think anybody's interested in, like, as a new person coming in and reading that kind of stuff? Wouldn't they be confused a little bit? Or like, I know we always say just jump in.
Right.
But for the Marvel to be like, here's where you can jump in, and then they're kind of lying, not really. You know what I mean?
Well, I think for Marvel, how many times have they rebooted a series to number one, and they've seen how unsuccessful that is? Like, yeah, you get like a big spike for that first issue, but then it automatically goes down in amount of sales. So I think like it'll be interesting to see how this happens, because if you get those Marvel fans that watch the movies and everything like that, and you throw this in there and say, hey, like, this is the entire series, this is number whatever, this is a great place to jump on, like, we're honoring our legacy, whatever. I'm curious to see if people would jump on, but I think it will be scary. I mean, if you get like an Alex Prostrollo in there, you'd be like, you mean I gotta get 152 issues before this?
For the record, everyone, I'm not actually that bad. Not that bad.
If you, it's like Mighty Thor 700 is coming out. You're not going to get 170 issues. 700 issues. But let's say...
but okay, like Saga, yes, I did go back and get every issue.
I think that's different, though. That is contained, you know, and like that is one story. It's not like Mighty Thor has arcs and stuff like that, and ends and restarts stuff. Can you shut that off? It's bothering me. I know I probably can edit it out in post, that fan, but if I can't fix it in post. You know what I mean? We're gonna sweat it here because I didn't turn it on that air, so it's gonna be super hot in here today.
I tell you what, I've been sweating balls since I sat down.
I know, and I have the fan on.
I'm like fucking Mr. Freeze, so like I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now.
Oh, you're cold today? Okay,
I'm not cold. I'm just saying I won't sweat. Like my thermal system is so fucked up.
I feel like a polar bear, just in this room. Global warming is real, everyone.
We were talking about, before the show started, we were talking about how, so I was looking at sales numbers from last month. And if you take out number one issues, you take out anything that's like a spectator that inflates the numbers. Usually that gets around 120 or sometimes 250, you know. But those are like, what's that, Loot Crate? They'll put a comic in there and it inflates the numbers. If we get rid of all of that, if we have like Amazing Spider-Man or whatever number it's on, it sells like, actually Amazing Spider-Man right now is selling like 50,000. But let's say like Batman right now selling like 80,000, 85, I think. So let's say that's, and usually Batman, that is how comic books range their sales. Batman is always 0. It's the base. So if we base that, so 85,000. We were just talking about what's the population of the U.S., like 250, 300 million?
Yeah.
Nobody's reading comics. It's like, what's going on here? And I guess we don't know digital numbers. That's for sure. But then again, we've talked about a couple weeks ago, we were on, Comic Look was here. We were on their show also. We talked about like, it's so rare to find somebody who reads comics, especially weekly. Like trades, it's more easier to find somebody to be like, oh yeah, I read in trades. Weekly, that I don't think anybody's reading comics. Like it's it's so rare. Like besides people at the shop, or people you know who do comic book shows. Do you know anybody who reads comics weekly?
No.
No, the people that I talk to about comics, like outside of like, all those groups, it's like they'll pick up trades every now and then, or like basically they'll pick up the random one-off issue that's like creating a lot of buzz.
Yeah, but so the concept, I don't know why I just stuttered. Too much Red Bull. Concept, 16 ounces, 10 o'clock at night. Heart attack's probably going to happen. But the concept of a weekly comic is so foreign to somebody. Like, why would they, whenever I tell somebody, oh, you get comic books? Like, yeah. And for them, they think that. That's what, if any casual person's like, oh, hey, did you go to the bookstore? And I'm always like, oh no, it comes out weekly, comes out on the Wednesdays. For that, like, blows their mind every single time. I was actually at the shop today, and they were explaining that to somebody like, oh, new comics come out every Wednesday and all this stuff. And you could tell they were just like already getting overwhelmed. Be like, what do you, every week? What do you mean? Like monthly? You got to pick them up like they don't understand like this. So you got to go out and get this and make sure you know when it comes out. And
I'm going to get poked in the eye.
it's so weird, the market. Like, I don't understand, especially it's so non-new reader friendly at all.
Yeah.
That at a point you got to think that if they're not getting that many new people in, all their current fans are dying off, literally. Like, they're getting too old and they die. And eventually, like, where does it go? Like, what happens? Is it all going to be digital? It's all going to be digital because everybody who's left reading is going to be people who just find it. Like, it's easy for someone to go to Comixology and go, this is new this week.
Right.
And you can also subscribe to something there and it tells you when the issue's out and it downloads it for you. That's super easy for somebody new. But, like, Diamonds giving issues to a store, like, I don't think that's very easy for somebody new. And I think that's the reason why I made those numbers are low.
Plus, I don't know. Like you said, Batman's hot shit. Marvel, I mean, not saying that they're going to make them opus.
I think Marvel, if Marvel did DC Rebirth or even did like New 52 the way they did it when those movies were coming out, I think we would have a different story. Like, they would be like, oh, they're restarting. I heard for so many people, New 52, especially like you're like, oh, I can jump on here. I actually saw on Facebook, it reminded me, Alex was like, oh, DC New 52 is coming up. It was like from how long ago? 5 years ago? 7 years ago?
Yeah.
No,
well, that's the only thing that's been crossing my mind the whole time we've been talking is that what's an easy thing to jump onto? I tell you what, Flashpoint was an easy thing to be on board of.
Yeah, because you knew
it was a nice self-contained event
in a different universe,
and then it bled into these other. I don't know what the right word would be, but just other stories. So there was the Superman project, there was the
miniseries,
all these miniseries. They had nothing to do with the actual characters, other than here's a little aspect of them that was nice from a guy who
all their history was there. They didn't have past history. So when they needed 52, they wiped it all out. They would reintroduce concepts that they've done before or make new things. And then when Rebirth came, it's kind of actually, they got all that stuff back. But I feel like it's really easy to be like, here's actually what's happening. There's a lot of like hand holding.
Right.
Whereas Marvel, every time they restart, it's kind of just like nothing really changed.
It's the complete opposite. They fucking swat your hand away and say, I think hey, you don't know this?
If they did a New 52 where they restarted like completely, or even a Rebirth, I mean, if that's what Legacy is, and these movies were coming out, I think people would be getting comics weekly, and you would hear more people be like, oh yeah, I got the new Spider-Man series. Who doesn't want to read Spider-Man? They're so excited when Spider-Man comes out, Thor comes out, but I never hear anybody that we go to these movies to being like, oh yeah, I'm reading Spider-Man now. I'm reading, like, they don't know who Miles Morales is until his movie's going to come out.
That's what's so surprised me, how divided Marvel Studios is as a film industry and like the Marvel company. Like,
well, he has to be separated, Kevin Feige. Because,
I know.
Because they were like trying to be involved too much.
Well, they were trying to be involved, but like, you're right. They didn't do a Rebirth or a New 52 kind of thing. But like, what a disadvantage did that put Marvel at? Because like, at the time when Avengers was like hot and popping and everyone was like, holy shit, like these are the best guys ever. Well, Tony Stark's not Iron Man anymore. Hulk's dead. Hawkeye's gone. Black Widow, we had a little mini, but now she's potentially dead. Who else is there? Thor's not Thor. Spoilers, whatever. Yeah, if you're like in a fucking gutter somewhere.
But you think about this. They so much don't, like you said, they're not, there's no, and then the only word I know to use for this, but I don't really like it, synergy. There's no like cohesive between both the universes, that even when they do something that's based in the cinematic universe, that Marvel Thor Ragnarok prelude, the last issue came out today.
Yeah.
So it's not even coming out in November, and I'm guessing that's because they want the trade to come out in November. So they know like nobody's picking up these weekly comics. So like we're just going to pump that out and we'll put up the trade in November, and we're hoping that's what they're going to pick up.
Right.
Because they're going to go to a bookstore and not going to see it. Because I literally think that nobody new is getting these. Very rarely, and it's very hard concept to sell to somebody like paper weekly comics. Like I never ever see anybody. Well, I mean, every once in a while, like once a month, maybe I see somebody new and they'll be like, "Oh, like looking around."
Yeah.
But every single time, I can tell overwhelmed.
But I tell you what, as even a guy who's now collected books for years and years now, when I go to other comic book stores, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, if you don't know what's going on.
When I go to Dragon's Lair or Krypton Comics down in Omaha, it's set up differently than what Rainbow is in town. Holy shit! Where's the beginning of where should I be looking?
That's true too. Crap. Like Rainbow it's at least set up to be like this week's comics last week. They have dollar walls, so you can try it out if you want to do something cheap. And then they have they even have issues and collections. So I think actually they're very organized. But sometimes you go somewhere and it's just like, here's all the comics and they're all random, and you're like, imagine me somebody new and be like, how does anybody know how to pick up anything? Because you're assuming that's all comic book shops are.
Yeah, I don't want to name drop a famous comic shop in New Jersey, but there was no fucking organization. Like, comics were just thrown all over the fucking place.
And I think, if nothing else, I want to make a shout out to Rainbow. You guys do a great job with your organization.
Yeah. But like, if you go into a bookstore, right, you know where the comics are. They're separated: Marvel, DC, Image. In any bookstore. I'm not even talking about a Barnes & Noble, like a big bookstore. Even back, bookstores are kind of not around anymore. But back in even the day when they had borders and stuff like that, it was, here's comic book, and they're separated by company, publisher, and then they go alphabetical. You know? But if you go somewhere like it has an organization, because they're so small, like the comic book shops, it's like so confusing. And I was just thinking about that when I saw those numbers. I was like, and those numbers are way down. Like I said, Spider-Man's down to like, and it might be, people are saying it's Marvel is the reason why those numbers are so down, because they're not doing good stories. It's down to like 45, 50. But Spider-Man used to be Marvel's like only thing that like held on to it. Like it would sell like 85, 90, and it was always doing that no matter what they were doing. But now like it's dipping down, and people are like, oh, people are getting tired of Dan Slott, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that's it. I just think that people aren't getting comics anymore, or like getting like there's no new people coming in. And you think right now, out of any time, there'd be a huge influx of new people, and we'd be like, man, record sales.
Yeah, but I think it is a scary thing because it may be more socially acceptable, but I still want to tell people, oh yeah, I get comic books.
I don't think it's socially acceptable. It's like maybe to like these characters.
Yeah,
but people was like, oh yeah, I like those movies too.
I mean, I still get judged from people going, you read comic books?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
That's such an old way of thinking, though. But like, you're right. If they're not used to it or exposed to it, then yeah.
But I would think at this point, how far into Marvel Cinematic Universe are we? Or into this
started in
Renaissance
2008 with Iron Man.
So we're like almost 10 years in?
Yeah.
You think it right now would be like people would be getting into the thing it's based on. Like when they make the Hunger Game movies, those books sell out. When they make, Lord of the Rings, people go back and read those books. Any kind of movie that's based on the book, they go back and get into the source material.
But that's what I'm saying is like right now there's nothing to go back like this. That's why there's such a fork in the road. Like if I was like, holy shit, Captain America was awesome, I go back. He's fucking Hydra.
Oh, that's what I was going to say is that it's hard to find your source material. And when you do, it's either, at least as issues, it'd be hard to find.
You have to go back like 10 years when that universe was starting to find heroes that are currently being...
It's just Marvel, though. DC, the number one movie right now is Wonder Woman. I don't see Wonder Woman climbing those charts at all. It's not number one in the comic chart.
Well, to be honest, they don't have the greatest... I mean, they're putting good work on there. But like, I don't think it's like... You're not putting Tom King on Wonder Woman. You're not putting like the grade A...
They're not making enough flags. Yeah, well, they're going to try with James Robinson. But I think his name holds more weight with people who know comic books than somebody new. You know who should be writing that book is somebody like who, and I don't know, it depends on who you get, but like you get somebody like who wrote Hunger Games, Suzanne Collins, like be like, hey, you want to write Wonder Woman? I guarantee you, she'd probably be like, we fucking about Wonder Woman, and it holds weight with people who saw his movies. They would come see it, or get anybody who hasn't written comic books that's a big name, preferably a female writer, because there's like no female writers. Especially at DC.
Well, Margaret Bennett.
Margaret Bennett. But that, like I said, those names hold more weight with like a comic book. If you're going to get new people in, I just feel like it's like an old gentleman's club. It's just like we're doing. We've done this as long as time, and DC at least tries. DC puts out these mini series and be like, hey, here's something new. Try this maybe. They do the what's that DC superhero the kids books.
The what?
The superhero girls.
Oh yeah.
There's
to try to like get newer readers at the
younger age,
grade level age, and like at least they're trying because they know that ship is sinking, and they're trying to do something to like patch up the holes. But I think like they need more people to do that. Like Marvel, I don't think is really doing that. I think now Disney's more trying to do it than they are. They're putting out those young kid books, but they're putting it through like Scholastics or somebody, not through Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just makes me, when I see that, think that we're heading towards something where we might start seeing more just digital only, or start seeing a change in the market that's going to, ruin out. I mean, maybe it needs to be interrupted a little bit to like get stuff going again.
Right.
I don't know. I just want more people to read more comic books. If it's hard to tell somebody to try to, like I see every single week, if you go on Reddit or you go somewhere, or even somebody's always like, "Hey, how do you get into comics?" Like every single time there was like, it's so confusing when I try to get into Spider-Man and I look and see there's like spectacular, amazing, like they don't understand all that stuff. It's just, I think it's just too confusing.
Well, it's because there's always more than one book, though. Like you said, there's spectacular, there's amazing, there's web of, or for Batman, there's detective, there's Dark Knight, there's just Batman. There's never just a Batman. There's never just a Superman. He's in 12 different books. They're all called a Batman of some kind. Which one do I read? Which one's the right one? Which one goes with what?
I'm not saying I have a solution. I'm just saying that I'm on that Titanic and I see that iceberg ahead. I'm trying to warn some people and be like, fucking turn that ship. Let's get out of here.
I think for me, it's hard to now I know you at least read digital. I don't know how much digital you read, but I'm one of those guys. I love having that copy, and so for it to actually move towards more of a digital world, that's unfortunate.
See,
it's
I
not
love
even the digital collector of me. It's just wanting to have it.
But I love like the community of like when I go to the shop, talk to them, talk to you guys, and like there's a community when you go there. I think there's a star for that community. That's why we go to the comic book shop and at least I do, like go there and get it. And like, it's a whole community thing. That's why you see a lot of this. You see a lot of YouTube people talking about comics, but it's like people who've like read comics forever and they're like really into it because they want to give their opinion. I think we even said this on comic book episode. I was like, because there's nobody out there like you read a comic book, comes out twice a year already. Like this come out twice a year. Who am I going to talk to about this? If like we didn't start this, it would be me and Alex. Like I literally imagine that you read something and you're like, I only know one other person I can talk to about it. Like what else is there?
Yeah, I'll admit I have that because my wife doesn't read comic books, and I binge read all sorts of stuff in the last 2 weeks, and it's like, God, who the hell am I going to talk to?
But you literally could go and see like Annabelle Creations came out this week, and you could say to somebody, "Hey, you see the new Annabelle movie?" I guarantee you, there's more of a hit rate for that movie than there is. Hey, did you read Mighty Thor this week?
Yeah,
I literally can find nobody else. Or, hey, you read Batman this week? Literally nobody else, except for the people I already know.
Yeah.
Where I could be like, "Hey, you seen that Annabelle movie?" "Oh, yeah, I saw that." Or like,
did you go see that?
Oh, they know what it is. No, I didn't go see it. I heard it's good, though. Did we talk about it last week?
Yes.
Okay.
At my house.
Oh, but we didn't talk about it on the show at all.
Oh, somebody commented that we talked about it. I don't remember talking about it.
I don't know. Maybe I said it was shit because it's scary until a giant spider shows up at the end.
It's going to be good, though, that remake. I guarantee it. Talking about a book that came out twice a year. Southern Bastards, number 17. Written by Jason Aaron. Art by Jason Latour. This is... who's this in the cover? This is a guy from the other town, right?
It's Vinny.
Yeah, yep. The used car dealer. I can't remember what his name was, and I even read this book tonight. LeChucky or something like that.
First off, I just wanted to say, before we get into the actual contents of the book, Jason Latour has a page in the back where he thanks everybody for being patient. Like I said, it came out twice this year already. The editor for this book, his father died, and then like a week later, Jason Latour's father died. So they took time off. And then there's 3 pages of him talking about his dad in the back there, and I told Alex, I go, I cannot read this tonight. I go, I guarantee you when I read that, I'm going to cry. So we can't do that before we start this show. But the actual issue, here's the thing with this book, and like I just wanted to bring that up first because I don't want to blame them for this book not coming out on time. But it's hard to know what's going. We were talking about before you got here. I don't remember what's going on. Like this issue just came out in 7 months.
Yeah.
So it's
came out, last one 16 came out in January.
There wasn't even like a previously. Page.
There's like 5 words. There's like 3 sentences literally. Here's previously.
Oh yikes!
So, I mean, it's hard to review this because I like just this issue.
Yeah, just I said this is one of those things that I have to go by just the issue. The issue was good, but
I mean, considering also like the art was great, like it always is. I mean, if you think like what Jason was going through during this time, it's amazing that he can even do something like this still. Like I said, like I was saying in the forecast, not easy book to read sometimes. Very gritty. There's even a part in this issue where the character goes visits his dad's grave. Like imagine drawing that after your dad passed away.
Yeah. When he says that in his back matter, he goes...
I couldn't read that, I told you.
No, I know, but I'm just saying he did talk about it in the back matter.
Hey, you read the back matter.
I skimmed...
He's starting to.
Oh, you skimmed it.
I skimmed through it, but
Well,
there's
buddy,
one part he
yeah.
goes, work on this book, it's emotionally hard to do.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to get through it. So I thought, I understand that.
It's just like Travel Foreman used to do the art for Animal Man, and he was going through some family stuff at the time. So he had to stop doing the art on that book because it was all about Animal Man and his family. So he's like, I can't do this. It's too hard to draw this book. And I'd imagine the same thing. But I'm guessing that Latour and Aaron, this is more personal for them. So like he's going to keep going.
Yeah.
But it was good. It talked about how, so in the last issue, which I realized I did not get, I remember, I think actually it sold out at the shop and I never got it.
Oh.
But see, now the thing is, I'm pretty sure I have it. I just don't remember reading it.
I remember him texting me being like, I got the last one. And I remember thinking, oh, I gotta get it. So I have to look and see maybe if they order more, if there's some there, or I have to get it somewhere else. But I felt I knew what was going on just from the context.
Well, I mean, it's understandable. There's still this, I'm going to call it a war, and it's not, but there's this battle between these rival teams.
So 2 issues ago, Boss, one of his henchmen was like, hey, we can go beat up that tight end and make sure we win this game. And Boss is like, get off my field. I don't play. He goes, I'm heartless off the field, but when we get to this field, I play fair. And then they lost the game. And then he called him up and was like, okay, let's go. And he grabbed the stick, Earl, that Earl used to keep. And I guess in the last issue, they beat up the tight end. Right? Did they put him in the hospital, or how badly did they beat him up?
I'm pretty sure they beat the shit out of him.
They talk about him here like he's in the hospital.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, again, it's been a long time since I've read this issue, but I'm pretty sure they beat the living piss out of him as much as they did that driver of the cars to take it into Colonel Quick McCluskey.
But now they didn't realize they've started a war. Now there's a war going on between these two towns, Boss and the next town over. And so this issue is them dealing with that, trying also to figure out a way to make the team better, because in this city, football is everything. Like even
sounds like this county.
Yeah.
This whole state.
Well, they beat the tight end and now they're at war. See, like it's like it's still like, this issue reminded me of, if you ever watch shows like Soprano, any kind of other shows, Wire, which is like a real drama, but like there's bad people doing bad things. And, Tony Soprano is not a good guy, but you watch that show long enough, you're like, I like this guy. He's funny.
Yeah.
He has good friends. Like he jokes with the trenches like I do. Yeah, but he kills people every once in a while. So like and Boss is in here and he goes to his best friend's, which is also another character's dad's grave. They both show up at the same time. They have a little moment being like thinking, what would he have done? And like talking about it and like having a little moment where you can see that maybe Boss, he doesn't like Boss, but he still kind of looks up to Boss. That was his dad's friend.
Yeah.
There's moments like that where you're like, man, Boss is a good guy. I think for a second, but Boss is a good guy. And then I remember killed Earl, like did all this shit. And I'm like, he's not good. But still, the writing in this is so strong that I'm like, that's a good, I'm
torn between whether or not whether I should be on Boss's side or be happy when someone beats the shit out of him.
And I like that dynamic where you're like, I like this guy, but I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy, but he's not always doing the wrong thing.
But you know who thinks he's a bad guy? Roberta. So
she's gonna.
The way they end. Can I just say what happens at the end?
What happens at the end?
So we've got Boss is sitting in his car and he's praying to God, telling God that I'll read all the books about.
That wasn't
Jesus.
Boss.
Isn't that Boss?
No, that's his new defensive coordinator.
Oh,
that can't figure out how to win a game. No, that was because remember he was earlier in the comic. He goes into Boss's office to tell him, "Hey, I figured out a way to beat that quarterback." And Boss throws the TV at the trophies. And he's like, "Okay, I'll come back later." Yeah, that's her. So she's obviously moving.
So
in
I'm sorry, I'm telling you the wrong thing. Not Boss, but the new.
I think it's defensive coordinator. Yeah, okay. He can't figure out how to run a defense ever since what's his name died.
Boss. Biggs.
By the way, spoilers for this is in the notes. A lot of shit happens in this book, and I think it's, like I said on the forecast, one of the greatest Jason Aaron books. Just this issue is kind of like slower than usual.
Just big, not pigs.
We haven't seen that one guy for a while, the Hunter.
He was in issue 13, I think. I don't know. So that's the thing that with this book is that Jason's doing a nice job setting up other characters, but it'll be nice when, and I'm guessing in the next 5 issues,
I'm excited for the
things
next
are coming together. I
Like
love how these covers look. Like there's the issue 12, which is blue. Most of the time it's red, but when they do this little sparkle of color, it's like, oh, that's nice.
You're right, though. It's back on the normal schedule I saw. Next, it comes out September 9th or something like that.
Score.
So I'm looking forward to it. This was an 8. It was solid.
I'll give it an 8 for the issue. I know if I was more consistently reading it, it probably would have been stronger as a whole. But
I think if you're reading this in trades, this would be a good issue. It's not, like I said, it's not an action-packed issue. Nothing really like big happens, but there's a lot of character stuff in this issue. That's
a lot of development. I agree.
Issue. 8. Southern Masters 17. Speaking of Jason Aaron, what else we get? He's right.
Oh, I know, but I like that. Yeah. I like looking at it.
No, be fair. I did, I wrote
just
it
kind of checked me right into it. We got the Mighty Thor number 22, written by Jason Aaron, art by Russell Dodderman on page 1, and 2 through 20 is Valerio. Sorry if I ruined your name. Shiti.
Yeah, I think so. So Russell Dodderman just did this page?
Yes.
Okay.
According to the credits on the front there.
Mighty Thor 22, this is... You know what's weird is the last couple issues haven't been part of the same arc, at least the title pages. So this is, the story's the same. It's obviously the same, but they've been changing the title of it. A Fistful of Brimstone. I don't actually... There's something about this art that I really don't like. I don't know what it is. It's not bad. I know that. It's just not my style. It's like so hard to tell what's going on sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I thought about in the past. I guess I can't really chime in on this because I forgot to read this. Sorry, fans.
Doesn't like Jason Aaron. Gosh.
I mean, whatever. I must have saw it and I was like, I'm not excited for this book, so I just didn't read it.
I like the cover of this book.
I hate that cover.
Oh, really? I have to admit, I'm biased. I love pink on covers for some reason. Like Sex Criminals, I love that issue 1.
I thought the last full arc, the what was it titled? The Shi'ar
War.
Yeah. I thought that was great. I like that. Donovan's art in it is great. I like his layouts. I really love his layouts, the way he puts things. And then he did the first issue of this new arc. I thought that was great too. I really liked it. And then we got to the next 2. And it's very hard to tell what's going on. I don't think the layouts are that placed that well.
I think like for this issue, at least in particular, it's the how much fire, how much red, how much orange is in this that I do get. I actually read it and I was starting to get kind of drowsy reading it going, oh, okay.
Yeah, especially
they're still fighting fire.
Especially when you have 2 characters, the coloring for the Thors, both Thors, the Ultimate Thor and Jane Foster Thor. For some reason, they're really inked very solid, so like they're kind of mostly black. And then when you have all new Ultimate Thor that has a red beard and he's fighting basically a fire demon that's a goblin, right? Fire goblin that's all red and has black also, like in its shadows. It's very hard to tell what's going on.
Yeah, you look at that cover, and I looked at the interior art. It's kind of like why I didn't like the last issue of Mighty Thor. So I just from the outside, just on the art side of things, I have no idea what the story is. But
feeling if Dodderman did the art, I would like this issue.
Well, I
like the first page.
I agree. Well, I agreed that the first issue of this arc was really good. Why did you do the first
page?
I have no clue. Well, look at the first page. It's just like a splash.
I think it's just Cinder talking.
See, I feel like he drew it way ahead of time, and they're like, "Hey, let's put Russell's in." The story, I thought it's good. I like the story the way it's going.
I like War Thor.
Man, that like that issue where he grabs that hammer is like really was for me. I was like, holy shit! Like, so those kids die, and he's like, no, I'm going to avenge their deaths, and he grabs the hammer and becomes the War Thor.
That issue was great. That was a great issue. That was like the greatest issue that I've read in a long time from this book.
You didn't like the last arc?
I liked it, but I thought it ended.
There's one thing in this book that made a reference to Mighty Thor 11 from 2011.
Damn.
I have no fucking clue what happened. And I was like, what the shit? I've been reading this book for a while, and I have no idea what the hell. I don't even know if Mighty Thor is even before my time to read.
Well, it said when of 2011?
It was Mighty Thor number 11, 2011.
Mighty Thor 21.
Whatever.
From 2011, though. The last Mighty... It wasn't this Mighty Thor series. It was like the last... It was...
When Odin's son was Thor?
Before Thor God of Thunder.
No, before all that. I think it was Matt Fraction's run.
That's what I just said.
Oh, no. Well, yeah. Well, he said... After you said, he said Odin's son. No, it's pre all that
I'm
stuff.
just saying it was when Odin's son, Thor.
Yeah, it was actually him, yeah. It was back... I believe it's Matt Fraction's run was Mighty Thor.
So there's something that happened not in a Jason Aaron run. I have no idea what's going on. Like, and it just kind of took me out because it was a little side note. Hey, by the way, this is what happened then.
I don't mind it, though. She explained, like, she just said my father got assassinated by Odin's son.
How do you kill that?
Well, they go read
Because
that.
even War Thor couldn't rain him out.
He's only been Thor for 3 issues. Give him a fucking break.
Well, even he goes berserk in this book, though.
He
Spoilers.
goes berserk in every issue.
I know. But so he has this little flashback of the kids dying and going, I don't remember if they call him Mr. Volstagg, don't let us die.
do.
We don't want to
Don't
burn.
let us die. We don't want to die.
And so War Thor berserks out and is flooding and killing everybody. And Jane Foster shows up and she goes, that's not how we do this shit. You're going to kill innocent kids.
Yeah, there was a kid,
little
fire demon.
fire goblin kid. And she goes, that's not how you're going to do this.
He almost killed her, and he goes, there's nobody innocent here. Not even them. And she was like, they're just children and women. Like, what are you doing? The same thing they did to you. And so now they're fighting at the end. That's the next issue. Is going to be them versus each other.
See, I get to see Loki going up to...
I'm excited for this
Ultimate
war,
Thor.
though. You're not excited for this upcoming war?
I told you I haven't read that fucking issue.
No, they've been talking about it for the last few issues. That Loki and...
Well, I knew that was in the
Malekith
background.
like, doing all this stuff. It's leading, obviously, to 700, right?
Yeah.
Is where that starts.
I'm hoping that Loki and Malekith come up to Ultimate Thor and take like a doll and just like get a lighter and light
Jeez.
right in front of him. See what happens.
I don't know. I know you said that you
To Ultimate Thor.
not really been interested in this book for a while. I really like this book.
Yeah.
I'm biased. A part of me, I want to have a Thor book, and I enjoy it, and I like Jason Aaron.
He's
a lot.
definitely stringing out a story that's lasted for a long time. He's
You're
been setting up for
talking-
something.
But the most important part is that
Webs.
Dario is not in this book.
That's true. That is true.
So,
It only took 12
There's no
issues.
dumb minotaurs in this book right now.
But yeah, I'm going to give it till 700, and 700 is going to be my yay or nay, basically, on staying on.
I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7. Mostly for the art. Like if it was Donnerman, I'm pretty sure this would be like a 9 for me. But it's a 7.
Agreed.
Just because like I can't tell what's going on, and I don't really like the style. So
You know what style I do really like is the style of Descender number 23, written by Jeff Lemire with art by Dustin Nguyen.
I looked at the wrong thing.
so did I. I thought you were talking about the next book after that.
So I thought,
talk about it
really?
second.
All right.
No.
Yes, this art was great in this book.
Dustin Nguyen, like his painting style is unlike anything you'll ever see in a comic book. Like there are some people that attempt to paint. Like Mike Del Mundo might be the nearest person to him that paints their art.
Alex Ross.
He paints?
Yeah,
That's paint?
That's all painted. Yeah.
I guess, but the style is
Yeah, I know what
different.
you mean. Watercolors as
Right,
well.
watercolors, basically. And Dustin Nguyen pulls this off in such a way, but mixed with Jeff Lemire's like writing. Like this is the second part of the Rise of the Robots. What?
What I did to Marvin made me laugh. Our knees are so. By the way, our knees are so close that I keep bumping them, and it made me laugh.
Anywho, so yeah, second part of Rise of the Robots. At the end of last issue, basically, Niarita or whatever, Princess Niarita or whatever she's drowning underwater because Tim 22
Telsa?
I mean, sorry, geez, what am I thinking?
I don't know where Narita's from.
I don't know. Maybe that's one of the planets or something.
She's on Malta.
Yeah, not whatever. Forget what I said. Yeah, Telsa is drowning. Quan just
Demolished.
obliterated Tim 22.
That was awesome.
And
So
then
Quan jumps
that's
in
kind of
water
where
together.
that's kind of where we start. And basically, the human government is coming in on the robot territory.
Yep.
Where basically a potential war is about to take place, probably.
Well, but now instead, the robot set a trap.
Yeah, robots set a trap, killed every single. So there was probably 100 ships, killed every single one of those ships except
3.
Yeah,
And one of those was the scrapper ship
right.
that warned I think it's is it CGU or UGC or something.
I think it's UGC. That sounds right.
So they warned the scrapper ship that's got Andy and all the other scrappers go, hey, it's a trap, get out of there. And so they do teleport, or they space shift or whatever they want to call it. And now only 3 ships are there. Now they're under, I'm going to say arrest.
Right.
And they get thrown under the bus by Andy's ex-girlfriend.
Right. Which we probably saw coming all along because she is cyborg.
Yeah.
But I think the strongest part of this issue, shit, fuck, like I did not see this coming a million miles away. So we assume that Tim 22 is dead. And so Quan, is making out with Telso. Okay, he's
CPR.
CPR basically. He kissed her for a little bit.
I know, he seemed to like it too.
And he was like, "Ooh."
She wakes up asking, "Hey, how'd you get out? I put you in prison. Super robot arm."
Right.
Killed
and then Telso's like, "Where's Tim 22?" And all you see, like, you turn the page, fucking Tim 22 shoots a fucking laser beam through Quan's body.
Him.
Yeah. And he just, like, I was so fucking shocked.
I'm kind of, okay. I don't necessarily want Quan dead. He's kind of a dickweed. But if he's dead, my mind is going to be so blown. And I tell you what, Tim 22 was fucking scary.
He was. And then, like, the last page is Tim 22 being like, "You can't fuck with us," kind of thing. And his, like, head's upside down
with
one cord.
Yeah.
Like, upside down.
Awesome. It was, I tell you what, it was creepy. I was going to tell you that it didn't feel like a Rise of the Robots. It may not be Rise of the Robots yet, but Tim 22 is sure making a...
Oh, man. I mean, that was the first time in a long time where I flipped a page and then, like, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
It was good.
There used to be a shitty Super Nintendo game that was called Rise of the Robots.
Yeah? Nice. So I'm gonna give this issue...
I'm going to give it a 9.
I'm going to give it a 9, too. I don't think it's a 10 because, like, it's not enough... for being a book about Tim 21, not a lot of Tim 21 in this issue.
Tim 21 was there causing a little trouble for the robots. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing is I don't feel like it's Rise of the Robots. Right now, it's Tim 22's running the show.
It's the robots are stewing.
Kind of.
I haven't read this book in a while.
And
since issue 1.
Tim 22, who's that? Main character?
No, he's the bad guy clone of the main character.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Marvin, I think your homework, much like mine for Saga. I guess you're behind, but you stopped.
If I was going to reread it, I would just start from issue 1.
I know.
There's no way I remember anything.
You might as well do
issue
trades.
1 then, because then
you probably don't even know what number 1 is.
They're on Hoopla.
So instead, read the issues you got, or probably can't find them. We can read on Hoopla.
I told you I took a day off of work, and I'm going to do is going to organize this room.
What does that have to do with your Descender problem?
Because then maybe I'll find it. Instead I won't find it.
You know what really I think made it definitely a 9 was just that surprise factor.
Holy shit!
Because we talk about it on the forecast all the time, and even on this show, I want stakes, and there was an outcome that was coming, and I was like, yes, that's what I want to see.
I mean, I think it was just great storytelling by Jeff Lemire. I mean, and with assistant, obviously, Dustin Wynn sold the holy fuck factor when you see Quan get obliterated by Tim 22.
I did look up Marvel Mighty Thor 21. It was Matt Fraction. Here you go. So it is old.
Just to confirm that he was right in his case.
He looks a lot less like Cinder.
Yeah, he actually
he looks like a demon. Less like she looks just like a fiery thing.
See, that
pretty good art. It's pretty good art.
What I saw in that other issue.
Let's talk the best issue that came out this week.
Oof.
Spider-Man 2 number 2. Spider-Man 2 number 2. Yeah, that's right. Written by Brian Michael Bendis, art by Sarah Pichelli. This is part 2 of the mini events of the year. The continuation of Spider-Man 1. Garrett, overall, what do you think of this book?
I would say, I drink that flavored shit. I would say, art, way step up. Art was good. Yeah, I mean, compared to that first
issue 1, yeah, I was going to say the
art really improved.
I forgot it was Sarah Pichelli. I was like, oh, they have David Marquez for this issue, and then when after done reading, I was like, oh, Sarah Pichelli.
Story wise,
this is the old Sarah that I remember.
Right. Yeah. So story wise, still all over the fucking place.
This issue,
it's just too much,
and I don't like being overly negative. Usually, I do it for comedic effect, like we're over the top negative, just because it's like, hey, it's funny to hear somebody rant about something. But this issue really sucked. I don't think I'm going to get the rest of this.
I knew you wouldn't. Fuck.
What payoff? Because I looked at the next couple covers.
Right.
What payoff could there be First off, the thing we waited, how long, when was the last miniseries?
Fucking
5 years
ago. Yeah. See, that's right. It's
And then-
outdated. It just doesn't fit now.
First off, Peter Parker tells him, hey, when I looked you up when I came back that time, what I found was that you don't exist in the universe. There's nothing. Bullshit.
Yeah, we fucking
The last
know.
page was him going, holy shit.
Yeah.
There's no way you look at, I told Alex, there's no way you look at a zero search results and be like, holy fuck.
Right.
Like, that's not going to blow your mind. You're like, oh, I guess it doesn't exist in the universe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he expected. Right? He goes, maybe there's nobody like you over here.
Well, I think
And-
it's more that Peter knows. Okay, this was stupid, obvious, but Peter knows he's like a serial killer or some bad dude, and he didn't want to be like, dude, your counterpart in this Earth is a total dude.
No, but he said, he goes, look it up. And then he hired Jessica Jones to look it up, and he goes, yeah, there's no Miles Morales in
talked to
this world.
Shield.
Either A or somebody erased everything.
Yeah.
Or Secret Wars, all that thing erased them from the universe. Either way, but like, is that really like what he had planned from the beginning? You know how I know that he did not plan anything for Spider-Man 2? They were just like I said, he had a cliffhanger in mind, Bendis, and he was like, let's just write it with that. And he never expected, I guarantee he never expected to follow up on it ever.
Yeah.
But people were like, what's that cliffhanger? And he's like, oh shit, people want to know? No shit, people want to know. You end a book like that. And then now he's
So
just,
much they had to make a fucking event when you could just probably
Yeah.
thrown it in the Miles Morales.
and now he
Spider-Man
has to go
book.
back and be like, try to make it connect. 2, this is more of a nitpicky thing, but in this issue they keep talking about, why don't you Starkle yourself? Like Stark it instead of Google. I look back, I told Alex at the end of miniseries, Peter Parker uses fucking Google to Google Miles Morales. So Bendis doesn't even remember what he wrote.
Yeah. Well, he says Google in the beginning of the book, I thought, and then
No, he says Starkle.
The whole time.
He says, why don't you search yourself online? And they go online search engine. And then when they actually name it, they name it Starkle. So it's like, maybe you can't say Google anymore since then, but then just say, why don't you search yourself? Why make a whole tag for it? When I know when you go back, and now it doesn't even fit continuity wise.
Right.
Or maybe that's a sign that maybe this stuff did change. But like we talked about it. I had ranted before, like once he got here, I was like, I got to tell you about this fucking book. Usually Spider-Man is quippy and it's okay because there's somebody else that he's quipping against that's serious, or it's like a bad guy and you're fun. Oh, he's making fun of this bad guy. But when you have Miles Morales and Peter Parker going back and forth with quips, it's too fucking much.
It's like fucking Deadpool. I'm just like,
can't.
holy fuck.
and the
I know.
joke, they're not even funny. It's just annoying.
And they make Peter worse. They make him the worst fucking human being on the planet.
I just want to be like, shut up.
Yeah.
Fight the guy for 2 seconds without talking. Like
Best part of the series is Taskmaster.
Taskmaster was okay. Yeah, he was pretty good.
I mean, I'm just saying the best. It's like the least dark shit on the pile of shit.
Yeah.
Is
Actually, I did like
the
it.
worst.
He was like a funny Punisher.
Yeah.
I really did like the way we were going with him. What was I going to say? Taskmaster. Oh, Peter Parker. And also when they were like, he calls Miles Morales kid, and he goes, kid, what am I talking about? I'm only 3 years older than him. Peter.
No
really
way.
Yeah, Peter really got the age that much that he's only 3 years older than Miles Morales, the kid that's in college.
Yeah. No way.
Holy shit! I thought when Miles took over, I thought he was like 15 at the earliest.
See the bottom left there, or bottom right.
Yeah, because I thought Miles was in high school.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he might be in high school. I don't remember. When this new.
He does say kind of.
Oh,
He goes, I'm 3 years older, kind of.
Well, maybe he's not even 3 then. Maybe he means he's like 2.5. Kind of.
I guess there was a time jump with Miles. I don't know. Maybe
Well, there was nothing in this book that.
But wouldn't that time jump have been led even Peter to be older? Because by now Peter's
time jump in his
35.
own universe first.
Oh, I see.
There's
and
nothing
then
in
became
this book
older.
that maybe be like, oh, I got to see how this ends. Like I'm interested in this mystery. Nothing. Like there was even a time jump in this issue that I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
It's so weird. It's all the thing with the Taskmaster, Peter and Miles, and then the last 4 pages we get an action scene on a plane for some weird. We like jump forward a week with no context. Nothing about it made me be like, I got to keep on this book and figure out what happens. 2, even like just as a minus the mystery, there's nothing in this book for me that was like, this is enjoyable. Nothing.
Yeah, maybe if like the other Miles Morales like was a famous Spider-Man rogue or something,
Or
like,
even make him an interesting character.
Yeah.
We've seen him
Shit, he's
twice.
Kraven the Hunter.
This is what, 5 issues, right?
yeah,
So we're almost halfway here. And the only thing I know about the new Miles is that he has a scarred face and he's working with Taskmaster.
right.
Jigsaw. And that Taskmaster really is the Punisher. I just told you guys the book.
I don't know.
No wonder he's
So because
Shelley's
of the
art's good-
art,
better in this one, yeah.
I'd probably give this a 6.
I'll give it a 6 too. No, that's too much. I'm going to give this a
think?
4.
Okay, then I'm gonna do 5.
It was
I think
so
because I
annoying
think
to
I
read.
gave the last issue a 6 or a 5 or something. Can't remember.
I was once again telling Alex what we got here. I like Miles a lot, and in this book, he was so annoying and different that I was like, "This is your character, Bendis. What the hell?" Like,
Yeah.
Oh, so this would be like Grant Morrison writing Damien wrong.
yeah, write him as an annoying
It's
new guy.
well, what's it is like Bendis has based Miles basically out. I mean, he's basically Peter. Just,
That's what I mean. It's like two Peters.
Yeah,
But that's
and
not-
so it doesn't work in the same book.
No,
Because before it was mentor to mentee. Now this time it's like we're both Spider-Man.
yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, when the other
Yeah.
time that they met, it was a lot of like he looked up to him. You're right.
Right.
Looked up to him, and it was kind of like a teacher-student thing. So Miles really wasn't like that quippy. He was kind of more like, "Oh, geez, how do you do that?" Learning from him.
Yeah.
But now they like seem like they're equals,
Right.
and I guess Miles feels more comfortable to be like, "Let's just be the same person." Like I'm just you, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Bad.
And when did he figure out that he knows Peter Parker Spider-Man?
Yeah, he figured
They
that out
showed
in the
each other.
first volume.
Did they both take off their
When he
masks? And they did to each other in a really sensual
Well, because
way.
Miles was there.
In Spider-Man? So that continuity is still the same?
It's still the same, yeah. And plus, Miles was there when Ultimate Peter Parker died.
Yeah, but where does Secret Wars come in? Like, where does it erase? I don't know what it erases.
What
Secret
does
Wars
the
Cloud. Doesn't you don't get to fucking know. That's the
Nothing
whole
happened.
point.
That's what I was confused. I was like, it didn't erase that, but it erased, like, nobody else knows who Spider-Man is anymore.
Genki.
Spider-Man.
Ned.
You know, like, yeah, it's like, because remember, his dad used to know. His dad doesn't know anymore.
No, his dad knows.
Oh, no, his mom.
His mom knows now too.
Oh, okay. Well, I
I know it's all over the
They
fucking
all know,
place.
everybody knows.
Like the Spider-Man book with Miles and the Spider-Man 2. I don't know. Spider-Man 2, just think of it as an annual, otherwise your brain's going to fucking
I thought it
explode.
would at least be fun,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like it's fun. Except for the Taskmaster. That
Yeah, whenever there's
action
fighting
scene was
with
good.
like those action scenes of Taskmaster.
But it's supposed to be because of the art.
Yeah.
So what am I going to get a book for? Just to look at the pictures? We'll talk about it later.
Jesus.
What's next?
So this week we got Dark Knight's Metal #1, written by Scott Snyder and art by Greg Capullo.
DC is what do they call it here? DC's event, a DC comics event. Issue #1. This is issue 1 after the 2 little one shots, the forwards
Right.
and the casting, leading to there's a checklist in the back with it's going to be in some other DC books and then some other one shots. What do you guys think of Metal?
I loved it. You know what? Like me and Marvin, me and our friendship was based on this, but like the Batman we got to know was based off Grant Morrison's Batman. The amount of
Yeah.
Grant Morrison universe Batman references in this book, insane.
Well, not even just Batman, just in his
In the whole
multiversity.
yeah, his multiversity, his run on a lot of Batman-esque things. That was great. You know, it ties back to Golden Age, Silver Age, not really Bronze Age, but
We get
we
Red
get,
Tornado,
you get Red Tornado, which
Metal
was
Men.
freaking great. Metal Men. You get
Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate. What's the Metal
Challengers.
Men's doctor? What's his name?
I don't remember.
I can't think of his name.
The Challengers of the Unknown are in this.
I didn't realize
Black
Metal
Hawks.
is so long. Like it's a 6-month event.
Yeah, it's
It's huge.
There's a lot of Easter eggs. Yeah, a lot.
Oh,
There's a
all
lot
over the
sprinkled in.
place.
If you're a fan of DC history, there's a lot going on. A lot that they're bringing into Rebirth. Still no Martian Manhunter, but I thought he might show up.
Probably
So
has
you-
shown up. You just don't know it.
Capullo's art was really good. Like
Yes.
it. Coloring was a little off the first few pages. I think they did, but
Did
the
Jordi
rest was
Belair
okay.
do colors?
No, it was Placentia, right? Or is he the
Oh. Was Placencia the one who always did their colors before?
No, before it was
I thought it was Belair.
shit, who was it?
Maybe it wasn't. Was it Jordi Belair on Snyder and Capullo's Batman run?
No.
No? Oh.
No, it was somebody else.
Oh.
He might have been.
It could have been Placencia. I remember saying that name a lot.
And he used to do
But he does
Flash.
a lot of books.
He did Flash for a while.
Okay.
No, I think it was somebody else. Coloring is a little different. Yeah, I think Hollingsworth did a few issues.
I
I'm thinking of Hollingsworth. He did the 0 year, I believe.
I thought it was either Wilson or Hollingsworth.
But I mean, it was fine after the first few pages were really like bold, and then eventually you got a style that was like how we used to. So, but so the beginning, it is kind of like and I think this was intentional. I would have to see if there's an interview out there with Scotty where he talks about this and see if it is actually intentional. But we start with the Justice League in the middle of a action scene. They're trying to get away from Mongol, and then we have the Megazord scene.
Go Power Rangers.
It was awesome.
But it reminded me of, and when I mean intentional, it reminded me of James Bond. And how they always start like he's ready on a mission. They show you that. They just show you the action scene, and then cut to, and then they get into the story. So I think he's just trying to be like, hey, this is just going to be like an adventure tale. Like, we're going to start you off with this right away, and then boom, we'll get into the story. That way, it's not like, get you right into it. Start with the big bang, and then go back into the main story. And that's what James Bond does. It's like boom,
right,
and then you're into it, and then you can build up from there. The rest of it was good to great, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's setting up, obviously, the big mystery. It's just going to get bigger and bigger as we go, is like what they've said.
Did you read Multiversity?
No. And I do think that's something I'm missing out on, is the fact that
I don't think you're missing anything by not reading it.
But they reference it at least off and on in this book. I thought it looked good, but I felt it was very wordy. I thought it was wordy.
That was the only thing I didn't like also. There's a lot of...
It didn't let the art do
setup.
much of the...
Yeah.
But, when I'm paying $5 for a book, I'd rather be wordy and give me a lot of information than be, 28 out of 30 pages of...
That's true,
art.
but I thought those 2 one-shots were kind of ready, like the setup. And then when we get here, I was like, oh, there's more. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot with Carter Hall and Kendra to set up. Oh, that was cool, too.
We saw Hawkman, Hawkgirl.
Right.
She ain't really Hawkgirl anymore. She burned her wings, I guess.
Right.
She tore them off or something like that. We see them.
Which one was Hawkgirl?
Kendra. You don't see her as Hawkgirl. She's the lead of the
She's not the Black Hawk leader?
Yeah, the Black Hawk leader, okay. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's Hawkgirl. And I don't know if you know about Hawkman and Hawkgirl's history, but basically they have a curse on them that they get reincarnated once they both die every time. And they fall in love, whatever, rinse, wash, repeat.
No, did not know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
so the last page we see the new Sandman, Carter, I think? I don't know.
Clint Marco?
Clint Marco.
Oh. Okay.
But that character actually is the grandson of Hawkman and Hawkgirl. So that's his inclusion into this, I believe. I don't really know that much about it. So I don't want to talk about it that much. But...
You mean talking about Dream?
Yeah, the last
at the
page,
end?
Sandman, yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought the issue was good. You know what? I love with this issue a lot, and I like the tone of it. Like, it's crazy. Like, you see Batman run away on a dinosaur. You see the Megazord, all that shit. That's like true like metal. It's like crazy. It's loud. It's like in your face. It's not subtle at all. And I believe like that's what this whole thing's going to be about. So it actually makes me excited that this is going to be just like a fun thing, even though there's a lot of information, like you said. And it did kind of throw me off being like, oh shit, with more information. But I think the like pace that it's going at and the things that's already showing me that it's okay with already being like, hey, there's a Megazord, and they're not going to be shy about it. It's already showing me Batman running away on a dinosaur and all this stuff. So I expect like a lot of moments of that to be like, oh, that's fun. That's comic books.
But it also explains that Batman is going to end up, his obsession with this metal has become so high that he's basically going to be the reason that Barbados comes back into the universe, because he can't. It's like, like what's going to unravel in Detective is Batman knows that Tim Drake's alive. He's going to obsess over that until he finds Tim. Just like this metal, he has to get to the bottom of this mystery, and he'll do whatever it takes. Like, everyone will say, just stop. Like, it's better if you just stop going towards this answer. He's just going to keep moving, and then shit's going to get fucked up because it's, curiosity killed the cat, basically. I give it a 10 out of 10 because, I mean, as long as I've been reading DC Comics, my whole, 15, 16 years of comic reading, so many Easter eggs throughout the whole DCU. I mean, you get Plastic Man. I loved when they were like people reacting to finding out about Batman's.
Oh yeah, Plastic Man was in that.
Yeah, there's a little like fucking exclamation point. Yeah, whatever. Around his little.
Well, they went into the Dark Universe and Eric came back.
Right.
And then Hawkman went to Dark Universe and Eric came back. So that's what started Kendra's like obsession with like figuring it out. if you read Multiversity before, if you haven't actually, I would recommend go read it. It's really great. The whole thing is great.
Yeah. It might open your eyes to how extreme
there is
this could be.
2 actual Multiversity issues. There's 1, and then there's a lot of like one shots of the different universes, and then there's 2. There's also a guidebook, which that guidebook's amazing.
Yeah, it has the map and all
it has this map that they show in
explained.
here, and then they announce that they flip it over and it's black in the back because that's the end, like the dark universe,
Yeah.
the dark matter, which is a real concept, dark matter and dark energy. So I always like that Scott always finds like these small things that are real and like makes them come into the DCU and be like, hey, this is how this works here.
See, I saw an interview with Scott online, and he said he had talked to Grant Morrison if that was okay to do that.
Oh, really?
And he said that he got a bunch of advice from Grant Morrison on.
Buddy.
I was like, Grant, come back, please.
If Grant Morrison comes back to DC, like, I love Grant Morrison a lot.
I know, he's so great.
Everything.
Yeah.
Arkham Asylum.
Eh.
But
See how 2 goes.
that miniseries, yeah, Multiverse, I would recommend go reading that. Not because it's going to make this make more sense. I don't, like you said, I don't think it really is necessary. But there's a lot of the tone that's the same, I think. So
I give it an 8.
8.
that was a strong 8 for me too.
I say 10. Just because, I don't know, I'm a DC sucker. When I get all these fucking Easter eggs, it just amps me up.
I'm like at 8, but I'm like one step more and it would be a 9.
Yeah.
I took a step.
And if Snyder and Cool keep saying this is going to get bigger and bigger, like,
That's what I mean.
I
It's
feel like this is going to
big
be
and
a
it's like-
fucking treat.
it's gonna escalate to a point where it's like, this is fucking crazy.
Right.
You know that fucking Megazord's coming back. There's no way you put that shit page 1 or
Right.
put it and be like, hey, they have this thing.
They're probably going against all the Dark Batman, the Dark Knight.
There's no way that Batman saw that and wasn't like, I'm gonna make one of those.
Right.
He's already making one. Alfred's making it.
Probably already made it.
Alfred doesn't leave that cave, obviously. Like every single Batman issue, I touched you again. Every single Batman issue from like the last Detective and a Batman, he talks to Alfred. He's in the cave. He doesn't leave. He's chained up in there. He's making all these things.
Why do you think he's so pale? He's going to eat sunlight.
He's got to solve these mysteries.
The one thing I want to mention is that Mongol being on the moon is from Action Comics, where Zod punched him in his face.
They mention it,
and they do mention
place
that
after.
his fight with Zod. So,
Right.
Do you like that continuity?
Kind of, yeah. So there's things I enjoyed. I did like the Batman hijacking the dinosaur.
That shows signs of a strong, like they actually have editors over there now that's like trying to join something
Right.
together.
Well, because like, the whole Action Comics thing is they were like, oh, Mongol, I'll give you your own war world again if you want. And he's like, a war world? Fuck yeah. I want another.
Hey, Action Comics, speaking of, I saw an ad for the upcoming arc, which is Mr. Oz's.
He coming
And
back, Marvin?
I saw the artist is the artist that was on New Superman, and I really like that artist, Victor or somebody.
Right.
And I was like,
Blah, blah, blah,
oh shit,
blah.
I was like, he's in that book now too? I don't know. I might get that arc at least.
Yeah, you got to find out who Mr. Oz is.
Yeah.
That's this whole rebirth thing's about, basically. Sort of. All right. Trinity number 12, written by Rob Williams, art by Ken Marion. So, we also should have put Spider-Man 2 and Trinity 12 next to each other in this list.
Why?
Because then we'd have 2 shitty books back to back.
Well, yeah, I have to put one in between.
I suppose.
So Francis might have put him on in this issue. He has to take breaks, I guess. I mean, if you're doing everything, I guess you need a break.
yeah.
But not good.
It would have been. I
Not
think,
good.
I think again, it's one of those things that I understand if Francis Manapul needs a break, but then just delay the book.
Yeah.
DC's making enough money on their books, maybe not on their movies, but on their books and TV shows. You don't need to.
DC's
have
had a
filler.
thing though since 52 though. They don't want delays.
Yeah, they don't want Marvel's reputation.
But I'm a firm believer, DC, and if you've got good material, we're willing to wait for a delay.
We are, but they're not.
Well, that's unacceptable.
That it's unacceptable to have a book not come out.
What this really should be is what we talked about one episode prior, not one episode, but in an episode prior, is that I feel like it should just be like a quarterly book. Like
Just
let Francis do his
oversized or
thing.
something.
They really should bring that back if they really like want to keep somebody on it to like Alex was saying, but don't want to delay it, make it come out less. But then again, it's going to hurt the bottom line because not that many people are buying comics, so you can't really keep a book going like that.
What bummed me about this book is I was actually really excited for this.
I was too.
I
Remember
thought
I
the
talked
dark,
about it.
yeah, the dark, whatever,
Trinity.
Dark Justice League Trinity was going to be great, and that Clayman cover is actually really good. And then you turn in the first page, and you're like, "What
No
the
Clayman?
fuck?" No, he's on the cover though.
I know, but I mean,
Yeah,
like, if
right.
Clayman wanted to do this issue, I think it would have been better.
Oh yeah, I think he would have been the perfect artist for it too, which is the sad thing. But you get Constantine, who's more of an asshole than normal. I mean, he's always been an asshole. Zatanna, head is empty like flower pot, basically. And then Dead Man, it's like, hey, we need a third person.
I find
Dead
it
Man.
weird that these three, I'm going to call them mystic people, are really shitty. But they're really not good.
Well, in this representation.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing is like and Detective Zatanna, man, she kicks ass.
Right.
She's awesome. In this book, she is incompetent.
Right.
Dead Man is no brains, no brawn, no nothing. He is just a spirit going into people.
Right.
And Constantine, holy crap, the man is hornier than you.
Yeah. What? Fuck you.
Burn.
All right. So, but the cool thing about the only thing I liked about this book was Red Hood and the Outlaws coming into it, but the way they were in it was forced. Yeah. And like, I thought it was a cool concept until I kept reading, and then I was like, it doesn't really fit. And
my gripe that I told Garrett, and Marvin was in the room with us when I said it, they kept reminding us, you guys are a Trinity, you're a Trinity, you're a Trinity. Okay, I get it.
We can count to 3.
I can count to 3. I got that. Because even Raish goes, well, there's only 2 of us here, Cersei. Yes, we can count that Luther's not there. It just bugged the shit out of me.
I didn't like the art. Not that the art was like unreadable or super bad, but some of the pencils were like there's a lot of cross hatching, which I don't enjoy. The coloring was too shiny for me. I wasn't flat enough, and the inking's too heavy. So like all of it makes it seem like style I don't enjoy at all.
They called this guy up and was like, "Hey, we got to fit this issue in before Man of War."
Rushed, yeah, it seems rushed. The writing was overwritten. There's way too much dialogue, way too much like you said, Constantine constantly has to like be making these jokes. Like you said, the concept to be like, we're a Trinity. To like, come on, man, I get it. You know what I mean? So a lot of this was like, actually, I thought when I was reading this, I was like, how long is this arc going to be? Can I just skip this one? I think
it's 2.
Can I skip this, you think?
I think you could skip it. Yeah. I know Garrett and I couldn't.
No. Another thing that I thought was, that was cool about it was when Bizarro and Superman are fighting. Because, like, Superman thinks that's his Bizarro. But, it is the current Bizarro. But this Bizarro is, like, the big teddy bear from Red Hood.
You know what's weird about this series as a whole is that we recommended it be like, this is better than Justice League, get this. And it was. When Manipool does it, it always is.
Yeah.
But when it's Rob Williams has done 2 arcs now, I think. Or no, who did the last one? Colin Bunn did the last one.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, man, what are you doing? You're
Does this editor
generic,
have like stories in the back hash just like, hey, we're going to do this
it's
whenever
like
Manipool can.
Generic shit that like anyone, like, not exciting at all. Francis Manipool like gets all of them and makes it more just about, it's not just Superman is the heavy, it's not that Batman's the smart guy, and Wonder Woman is like the perfect mix of those two. And that's like what their team is. Manipool like gets into like them beyond that. And when I read this, and then it's like, all right, like this isn't the book I want to read. I don't want to read. I don't need these 3 on a team and be like, when Constantine shows up, it goes, oh, the big heavies are here. Mm-hmm. So the really big must be going down. I don't feel like that's what this book's about. Like, make that Justice League. You can make that a big event, book where shit's going down. Make this more about like, what brings these 3 together? Why are they like so close? Why are they working as a team?
And so I always understood the Trinity they were friends.
Yeah.
It's less of, something big is happening. We have to deal with it.
This issue just gets 1+ for me because it made me laugh. Is when Superman opens Red Hood's mouth really huge.
Yeah, like really wide. I should have killed him.
Yeah, it made me laugh. I was like, holy shit. For no reason, because Constantine just like talks into his mouth.
Well, no, he's going down the mouth to go get them. Which, okay, the serious part of me was like, that doesn't make any sense, because if that's his mouth, then I realized the mouth is just the mask.
Black
just a portal.
Yeah.
It's not actually his mouth that Superman just broke his face.
I know, it's like his jaw.
So I don't know.
Would you want a black hole in your mouth? You can eat whatever you want, but it wouldn't go to your belly.
No, because then I'd just be Kirby, and I don't want to be that.
I think Kirby eats everything. It's not just a black hole.
Spits it out.
No, he eats
bulimic. You watched that show?
I give this issue a 6, only for the fact that when Red Hood and the Outlaws showed up, it made me think of the actual great series.
No. It has to be a 5. This was shit.
Let's see, which one did I enjoy more, this or Spider-Man 2?
Neither. I enjoyed this one more than Spider-Man 2.
I think,
you know what? I actually didn't.
Judging by the sound, I would have enjoyed Spider-Man 2.
I'm going to give this a 3.
3.
Holy shit.
I hated this. I really, like, the last few pages, I didn't even, like, I skimmed over so fast, I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
The Red Hood. The problem with me was I couldn't give it a boost for the Red Hood and Outlaws being in it because this ruined the fact that book is amazing. Because it showed
That's
these
what I was gonna
characters
say.
as shit.
You guys been lying to me because they show up in this issue, and this issue sucked.
No, dude.
That's the version you're used to. I agree. The version that we've been reading is not that fucking.
Oh, okay.
Like that. Sorry. Side note: the book that we've been reading, you feel for Bizarro. You feel for this team as a team. It's not even like when New 52 had the Outlaws. Where you're like, oh yeah, there's the attractive factor is Cora or Starfire. No one gives a crap of Arsenal, and then there's Red Hood, who's pretty BA. This is actually all three of them hold their own, and it's so.
And they're
good.
they're better friends than those three.
And I actually believe they are friends because they both Bizarro calls Artemis and Red Hood Reds. Mm-hmm. Like they're this cute little. I'm sorry. I think they're a cute little family because they do care so much about Bizarro being sick or dead.
He's fine now.
Nice. I know. I'm so excited for that next.
Actually, they start reading that.
You did?
Yep. Volume 1.
What do you think of Dexter Soy's art?
Can't tell you. I'll tell you when I'm done. Those were the comics for this week. We have Southern Bastards number 17, Spider-Man 2 number 2, DC Knights Metal number 1, Trinity number 12,
/ annual part 3,
Descender number 23, Mighty Thor number 22. Is that all?
That's it.
You can get any of these comics at RaymondComicsandCards.com. And make sure you, for DC Metals, maybe. I mean, they were all sold out of the regular covers. So if you want to get something, especially
Dark Knights Metal.
What did I say?
DC. Which it is DC, but
DK.
DN.
Holy shit, Donkey Kong's going to show up.
DN.
DK.
It's
Metal.
Knights.
Oh, it's Knights with an N.
It's Knights with an N.
Okay. What if it was DK though?
It's not.
Like what if he shows up from the Dark Universe? Holy shit, it's Nintendo.
It'll be great.
Get those books. We a couple of them were recommended. A couple of them. Stay far away from.
Shit-tastic.
But nobody's jumping into Spider-Man 2 too. Like that's not for nobody who's not read the first one.
Right, exactly.
And if you are, good luck, buddy.
Thank God Corey's buying it and I'm not.
Let's move on to.
That's one of those books I think your brother should just like. This is garbage.
He can't. Corey.
I know he
ultimate.
can't. It's got Spider-Man, but
yeah.
The feature for this week, we're going to be court is in order. We're going to argue some cases one at a time. Going to go around and pick our court case, and then you're going to assign a prosecutor, defender, while you play the judge. I would also like go ahead and send us your verdicts, audience, on Twitter at Wednesday Comics or on Facebook at facebook.com/Wednesday Comics Podcast. But we're going to make a verdict here, and you guys are the extra votes. So maybe it could be turned around. Who wants to go first?
I'll throw mine out there. So I'm going to read it word for word because it sounds better than anything I come up with now.
Okay.
So my case, Marvel as a publisher with all marketing, advertising, and printing are either making this content for the fans or they are doing it to fatten their wallets. I think I'm going to give... Ooh, this is good. I'm going to give Alex the content for the fans and Marvin doing it to fatten their wallets. Because I know how hellfire this guy gets about everything. So I want to give him some, they're doing it for the fans. And then you fatten their wallets. So who goes first?
Well, who's the prosecutor?
That's your job as a judge.
I was say who's the prosecutor?
What's the case? Marvel Comics versus the people.
I'll let...
cut your knees off.
Look at this judge. Can he make a decision?
Fuck, there's a lot of pressure. Okay,
Can't make a
you
judgment.
fucking go first.
So I am the fucking prosecution.
Hey, I went to the same judge school.
Dredd?
What? Yeah, I'll be Judge
Judge Dredd Academy. Phew, that sounds
You're
like
up,
a horrible
fucker.
place to go.
You are terminated to judge first.
Is that right?
Am I wrong? I don't know.
Judgment.
Hello, jury, judge. How you doing?
And executioner.
Holy shit. Holy shit, it's Punisher.
He's right behind you, so don't fuck up.
So I tell you what, I forgot what my whole thing is about.
Do we have a time limit
You know what
for
it's
each
about?
thing? Is that what we did last
Oh, yeah,
time?
but I have my phone right now.
I have mine. What's time?
It was 5
5
for
minutes.
each and then a 2-minute rebuttal.
5 minutes for each?
Well,
I thought
we're
it
not
was
going to
3
be 5
minutes.
Do
minutes.
3.
3.
And then a 1-minute rebuttal.
Okay, fine. Go.
jury, judge.
Well, judge first.
Judge, jury.
They're the ones who actually tell you what to tell me. I'm just telling you how to do your job, bro.
Well,
Go ahead.
That's right.
Waste your time.
Of course. So now I tell you what. As a fan, what do you care about? You care about these books? Yes, you do.
what books are you talking about, Plaintiff?
Marvel books.
Okay.
So now when they write this book, of course you know they're writing it for the fans. They want these fans to read these books. They go see these movies. They need this source material to read. And so they write it. And they give it out to you to read. So you're flipping through these pages. And you're like, holy shit. Next page is coming out. Holy shit. Spider-Man's dead. I got to get that next issue. You go to the store. You pick up that number 2.
Spider-Man died?
Well, the way that Marvel probably
Let me
writes
hold you in contempt for spoilers.
it, when did he? I didn't give you any specifics, Judge.
Fake
I'm sorry.
spoilers.
Forgive me. Jury.
That's all right. Nobody reads Spider-Man, so.
I know. It's a slot still.
Only fucking hashtag ghost guess.
Hashtag 40,000.
So I tell you what. You know that when these teams get together, Bendis, Marquez, other writers from Marvel, you know they're putting these books out because they care about their fans. They listen to podcasts. They listen to reviews. They listen to what their fans require from them. I want a good story. I want this good... You know what? Fuck this shit. They just go, I want this good shit. Bring it to me. I'm a fan. Supply it to me.
That's it?
That's it. That's all that needs to be said.
Oh, boy. All right. Now, Marvin, your 3 minutes.
By the way, I tell you what, Judge, sorry, one thing. Your courtroom is so fucking hot.
It is really
Yeah,
hot
because
right
it's
now.
getting steamy, isn't it? Yeah, the fucking case is thickening. Go.
Because this case is hot. Judge, thank you for having me in the courtroom today. I'm used to this heat from Alabama.
Oh, my.
So let me first start with this guy says they do it for the fans. Marvel Comics. These New York boys up there in New York City, New York State. If they really did it for the fans, let me Exhibit A. Let's put it up here. Not up here. Pretend there's a green screen behind you. And we're going to put up variant covers. Now, if they were for the fans, DC Comics, let's go with their competitors, puts out variant comics, same price as the normal comics. You pick what you want. Every month, new variants come out. Marvel says to retailers, hey, order twice the many comics as you got last month. We'll give you one variant. That's why comic book stores have to mark it up, because they're buying double the amount. They're going to make back their money. Now, you're telling me if they were like, hey, let's reward the fans with this sweet Alex Ross cover. If that was for the fans, why are they making them pay double for that cover? Why are they they're forcing the retailers to mark it up? Because they want the numbers. Now, we were talking about numbers earlier in the show. My associate, Marvin, was saying that these numbers are inflated. And when you look at it a lot of times, it is these variant covers. It is these number ones. And that's why they've been doing a lot of number ones, these reboots, these fake reboots. Is because number one sell a lot because spectators buy them. And they inflate the numbers. They make money off of them. Now, you're telling me if you think that's for the fans, they would keep it the same numbering. Like, why change the numbering at all? The numbering really doesn't matter. Like, for me, it doesn't matter. And you're saying, well, then why are you worried about it? Why are you worried about it? I'm worried about it because the number ones then are inflated. People go out and buying them. You have an excuse to make a number one issue $5, $6, sometimes $10, whatever you want to charge, because you're like, hey, it's a number one. You pay more for the number one. Well, it's not number one to me. It's number 16. It's the same story that was told before. You're telling me that's not fat in their wallets? Yeah, it's $1 extra. It's a $2 extra book. But when you're talking 40,000, or when those books came out, it's 120,000. So for them, it's $120,000 more they're making that month, for no reason other than to make $120,000 more.
Question.
Yes.
On behalf of the court, I've heard reports that the comic book cover, like material that they use, is more dry than hotel shitty toilet paper.
And they let's remember back, Marvel Comics decided to change their cover stock. And then they said, hey, we heard from you guys out there. Your fans don't like it. It leaves fingerprints a lot. So a lot of the people have been saying that it doesn't hold up well. We're changing it back. Well, that was
Final thoughts.
2 years ago.
Run out of time.
And that paper couldn't even stop my fingerprint. It's still doing it.
All
That
right.
is not where I thought you were going.
Alex, rebuttal. 1 minute. Go.
I'm sorry. I am drawing a blank on these fans.
You look like just like that guy on your cover, on your shirt right there.
Hot and black.
You look like a deer in headlights.
Kind of.
Griff math.
Sorry, I am literally dying in here.
Yeah, because you're losing this case. Go.
I know. You know what? My fans over here are telling me what they want to hear is that, they're willing to pay the extra money for these covers for the fact that it's an Alex Ross cover. Why would I not spend more for this man to take his time to draw this book for me? They're willing to spend this money because they like these characters. They like this art. They like this writing style. They're all in for this. If they didn't like Marvel, they would have dropped it. They're helping make some money for these people, but it's because they like these stories, because they like what they're
10
seeing.
seconds left.
Judge, go fuck yourself.
Holy fuck, man.
I was going to call.
digging yourself a hole.
I was going to call objection. Then I realized it was your question. I wasn't going to win.
Just letting you know, dick. All right, Grayson. All right, Marvin, rebuttal.
Let me ask you something, Judge. When you're building a fire, you need to let it breathe and make it go big, right?
Right.
You don't smother it.
Mm-mm.
So you're telling me this is for the fans. So why is it that when a series hits big, it hits, then there's fire, there's a lot of excitement for something. Case in point, Black Panther. People were like, oh, it's a great book. It sold a lot. And they're like, you know what? Let's make 2 more series of that. It wasn't because they were like, hey, people are asking for more. No, they were saying, hey, we like this book. But for them, they were like, people will buy Black Panther. If we make them because they were saying, hey, you need to read all these to get Black Panther, what's going on, maybe we can get people to buy the books. And then you have, World of Wakanda and the Crew, which get canceled after 6 issues or less than 6 issues because they can't sustain. You get them saying, hey, people are talking about this
10
Ultimates
seconds.
book. It's one of the best books ever. And they're saying, let's restart it. Ultimates 2 for no fucking reason. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to swear, Judge.
It's okay.
No reason. Goes 9 issues, and then they're like, hey, let's make that 10th issue the 100th issue. For what reason other than
Objection over time.
Time.
to put gasoline on a fire and put it out right away?
Time. Okay. So now I got to pick who won?
Marvin.
Yeah.
Well, clearly, we had one person that was an asshole to the judge the entire fucking time.
Happens.
So if I had my Judge Dredd hat on, I would shoot you in the chest.
I just assumed you were wearing it. All the time.
Okay. And then for this guy, who's basically giving me bottomless popcorn, he wins. All right. Boom.
I'm 1 up. I'll go next. That way you guys can go.
I can't. This is going to fucking suck. I hate this. So wait, before we even go, I just need to put a disclaimer out here. No matter what I pretend to say in this upcoming case, trust me, it is 100% not true. Marvin might edit this out, but you know where my allegiance lies, and it's not to this fucking shaded argument that I now have to pretend is true. And if he's dying of heat stroke, do I automatically win?
If he passes
out, okay.
We're going to do a case here. I know I told you we were going to do Superman.
Did you change it?
Changed it.
Holy fuck. I'm not even prepared.
So your disclaimer doesn't make sense anymore. His disclaimer was for...
He was going to tell me to basically badmouth the King, the Legend, Superman.
So what I am going to bring up here is a case called Batman versus the People. Alex, I want you to tell me why Batman is overused and an overrated character. And Garrett, you're going to tell me why Batman is still... He's DC's #1 guy, and why they use him a lot. It's for a reason.
So I'm overused. I have Batman as overused.
Overrated, overused. Batman.
Who goes first?
Garrett, go ahead.
All right, Judge. So to make this as simple as possible, who do people associate with the most? Gods, people that you could never aspire to be that you wish you could be, or the everyday person who deals with tragedy in their life? And if I think of DC Comics, the first person that comes to mind that's most relatable to me as a human, besides his, obviously, we'll just get there, Batman. Okay, this is a person who, as an infant, lost his parents in a very traumatic way.
Was he?
No, he was like
Not an infant, sorry, in his youth.
Okay.
Yeah, in his youth, he lost.
Objection. Lying to the jury.
It was mispronunciation. In his youth, he lost his parents, and that shaped his life for the rest of it.
As a fetus, lost his parents.
Fuck, I was in the zone. Okay, whatever.
Burst right through the womb.
Pre-birth, when he was a twinkle in his dad's eye.
But just like for Marvel, like Spider-Man's your more down-to-earth hero out of all the
Which one?
popular heroes. Peter Parker. Bruce Wayne for us is like, if we really wanted to be, we could be Batman. It'd be really fucking hard. I mean, you'd have to do so much training, but it's feasible that if I had millions of dollars, the right amount of training for all the years of my life, I could be Batman if I wanted, if I could really get to that level. Now, I couldn't be Superman. I couldn't be Wonder Woman. I couldn't be these people. So, Batman is really easy to associate with. The world's a shitty place. Like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, you know? It's going to beat you down to your knees. You know? It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward.
Fucking right.
And so Batman...
Balboa.
Huh?
Balboa.
That's all Batman. He says, no, I'm not wearing hockey pants. So, I think, is Batman overrated? I mean, think about his comic sales. I mean, we're getting 80,000 copies sold every issue, basically. I want to point out that it's statistics, Judge, so he might not have that. So he's clearly still relevant, at least for the percentage of comic book readers. I'm pretty sure that you'd get more people in line for a Batman movie than anybody else, basically. The Dark Knight trilogy, one of the greatest Batman trilogies of all time. And, you know, some people wanted it to be more into Batman's mythology, but a lot of people respected it for the fact that it was realistic. Because, again, you can associate with Batman. Batman lost his family, he's lost the love of his life, and he's had to overcome adversity. That's everyone's daily struggle. So I think Batman is totally still relevant, and he will be for many years to come. Thank you.
Ready?
I'm not the fucking judge.
Mr. Pastrello, go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Judge. You know, jury, I want to let you know who other than Superman, the least relevant character in DC Comics is Batman. Far, far too often does he show up in a book. He doesn't need to be in JL. He's got his Batman book. He's got his detective book. In New 52, he's in the Dark Knight book. Now, I realize not everyone has the same question I do about this caped crusader. But how can you be so many places at one time? How can you be so well prepared that when you go to have dinner with the Clarks, you wear your...
Excuse me, objection. You said the Clarks.
Well, you told me that Batman was a baby, so...
That was
Okay,
just mispronunciation.
Before, save his time.
Can you pause it?
He like to recall his time.
Yeah, I'll give him 10 seconds.
Before we continue, please turn that fucking fan on the lowest setting. Jesus Christ, I'm like literally passing out. Like I literally.
Okay, I am so hot in this building right now. Holy shit! Like
I'm wearing a fucking sweatshirt. I'm doing pretty good, but
we call this the episode where everybody gets heat stroke.
my arms are so sticky, it's gross.
I'm like talking to him, and I was like having like a fucking fever dream. Go ahead.
You also just
As he has to end up touching me just to stay awake.
Right,
okay, hang on. Well, I got to remember where I was at now. I got thrown off from the story.
You said
that you interrupted me. That's what the Smiths.
Clarks.
What name is they at?
They're the Kents.
What did I say? Clarks?
Themselves. Yeah.
Oh shit,
Clarks.
I'm right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, the Kent house. How can Batman be prepared? Shows up with Diana, gets laser beamed through a door in the chest, goes 50 feet away. Everyone says this man is mentally, physically, emotionally, he's prime, trained to the best perfection he can be. That is the bogus, most bullshit thing I have ever heard. No way can you have a six-pack abs withstand getting punched in the face by the Man of Steel. Have you read Hush? Holy shit. The man takes out Superman with this Kryptonian ring that he keeps on, or kryptonite ring he keeps in his pocket. Holy shit, that is bull crap. I'm sorry, Judge. I am so frustrated with how much Batman has to show up. The Dark Knight trilogy is now even one of the best trilogies. It's the only fucking trilogy. You know what else? I'm glad Batman got his back broken. I'm sorry. I look at you and you smiled at me. Batman is one of those characters that when he dies, he should stay dead. He is not relatable at all because no one's ever going to go through that much training, that much punishment, that much suffering that this man has ever taken.
Only pussies wouldn't.
Well, the only thing Batman has going for him is money. And no offense, I can't ever become a billionaire. So, Jesus. Jesus, Judge.
30 seconds left. Just let you know.
Thank you. For everyone who loves the Batman, you're wrong. There's other characters that are more relevant, more easily understood, and that you can relate to. Spider-Man. Probably one of the easiest characters to feel yourself with. But you know why? Because it spits out that webbing.
Time. All right. Here's my 1 minute rebuttal.
Wait, I should still have 10 more seconds.
I fucking paused it for 10 seconds, let you talk.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, Judge, whatever the fuck he was just saying, totally wrong. I mean, like I was saying before, he's relatable. Everyone goes through tragedies in their life. If they don't, they're living a fucking lie. Okay? You know, like the once great mentor of Batman once said, you know, you're going to eat lightning and you're going to craft thunder. You're going to go through hell, but I know in the end, you're going to be the last one standing. So... So if I had to say one thing, you know, to Batman, get up, you son of a bitch. Because Mickey loves you. Should Alex even talk? I fucking won, John. Oh, I'm gonna die. That's so fucking we're on delusion. Corey's gonna love the shit out of this shit.
Everybody, this is her last will and testament.
It's like 200 degrees in here. Fuck.
Go ahead, Alex.
I can barely get through that fucking Okay. Let's get serious now.
I'm serious. I'm gonna die. The longer this goes, the longer we're in this room.
Go, Alex.
Batman is a worthless piece of crap. But the man is overused. You know what? By now, everyone in Gotham City knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Sooner or later, the civilians will come up and kill him themselves. That is a book I would read. The people versus Batman. I'm just gonna stop seeing Batman eating fire and lightning.
Is you resting your case?
I will rest my case.
My final thoughts on this case: I pity the fool.
So when this started, when I gave them out, usually when we give out the court cases, I do have an opinion, and actually my opinion is with Alex, but the judge is going to have to rule in Garrett's favor. He made a better argument.
And I made you guys cry, too. So.
Mostly because you were arguing that Batman's not logical in the first part, and I was wanting you to argue that he's overused. I mean, you did it, kind of.
I did, but
you went on a rant about how he can't be in 15 places at once.
Of course. Logical.
Oh, by the way, I'd like to make a correction. Batman, last month, number 26, sold 107,000.
Nah.
and 27
See?
sold 102. But so if we take out all events and number one issues, Batman 26 was the number one issue. That wasn't an event or number one. 107,000. Batman 27 was 102,000. And the next one down is Star Wars 33. And it's fucking Star Wars.
Wow.
Which should be the most casual book you can pick out, right? Any fan could go. It is at 74,000.
Damn.
So like, let's make that the baseline. Batman's a beast that like has always been, you know what I mean? Star Wars. That everybody should be getting Star Wars that sees those movies. It's actually a pretty good book. 74,000. Like who's getting comics?
What issue was that? Star Wars
33. And we talk Walking Dead 169, another book that should be selling a lot. 67,000.
Wow.
And it's just because
Suppose everyone's not watching the TV
They
show.
might be getting trades though.
Yeah.
Walking Dead. Let's see here. Amazing Spider-Man 56,000. So
To be fair, I would have to also agree with your choice, Judge. Garrett won that one.
what is your case, Judge? Judge
So-
Pastrana? Judge Pastrami?
Sorry, I got a little choked up here.
Judge
So it's a
stroke?
common thing that I actually do question. What is more important and what helps decide the strength of a book? Is the art or is it the writing? Is it the writer, the artist? Which do you choose? Which sways your choice? And Garrett, I want to give you the art is the strength. Marvin, you're the writer.
Who's
Make
going
me-
first?
Marvin will go first.
Are you ready, Marvin?
Yeah.
Go.
Judge, let me bring something to your attention here. Art. Yes, these are sequential pictures that are telling a story. Correct. So with art, it's an essential piece, right? But is it the most important? I do not believe so. Here's why. Writing, if you look from a script level, is telling the artist what to do. So when you get a Greg Rucka, he's telling the artist, here's what you have to do. Here's how the story's going to be. So when you see something, a lot of times when we talk about the art, we talk about, I like the way that was told, the storytelling in that way, the panel layout, all that stuff. It comes from a writing level. A bad script is never going to be a great comic. A great script can turn out to be an okay comic because of the art. But you need the foundation for everything. So you can't start with a bad script and the artist is building on what that is. So when we get a book that has great art, we're always saying, hey, this art elevated this writing. Wait a second, that's the wrong argument.
Question I have the whole time you've been trying to not.
We're saying if
Judge, I completely agree
if we
with
get
the
great art, it's because you're saying that a good writer, the writer's saying, hey, I want this panel to be like this. I want this action scene to be this. When you get bad writing, we get something called Trinity number 12, which is probably being, it's convoluted. So you have a writer that has to incorporate all these scenes of people just talking. So the writing, if it suffers, the art suffers. If the writing is great, we get a good comic art-wise. I don't think you're going to see... Let's go back to movies for a second. If they have no script, there's no direction. Where's that movie going? For instance, the Pirates of the Caribbean number 2 and 3, they shot without a script. Those movies are convoluted. You know what's going on. However, you find something amazing, like Goodfellas, in that script, perfect. Those scenes laid out. They write notes and everything. What do you think Quentin writes his own scripts for? Quentin Tarantino. Because he needs to write all the direction. And when you get somebody like Tom King, if you read his Vision comic, a lot of it's direction. Do it like this. This is what I'm looking for. You never see an artist be like, hey, you didn't tell me to do this, but here's what happened. Writing is essential to comics because they're not only sequential pictures, they're sequential pictures telling a story. I'll allot my time. Mostly because I'm going to die.
Garrett,
Ready for me?
I'm ready.
Judge, I'd like to call to the table one of the worst trades I've ever read, Arkham Asylum by Grant Morrison, drawn by Who Gives a Shit because the art's shitty. So, that writing, I love Grant Morrison, but the way he wrote that book was try to, get in your mind and confuse you and make you all fucked up. Well, you know what that art? That art didn't do justice to that story, okay? The shit I was seeing on the page was the shit I was reading. Okay? So now let's turn around. So we can talk about Trinity number 12, which we were reviewing today. Now, what if that was still written by Rob Williams, but drawn by Francis Manapul? Would that book be saved because Manapul would know enough to make this book his own? Let's say, you know what I'm saying? We'll think about Vision. I've read those director's cuts, okay, at least the first 4 issues, because, Marvel fattened their wallet with $14 from me. So, literally, Tom King says, the planter was in the air. Okay, but fucking Walta, he fucking makes blooms. He makes it, like, look so magical, and, like, there's so many different angles that you see it from. And, like, when you see that thing, you're just like, that's a nice planter. You know what I mean? So, Tom King didn't write that. Walta drew that into your minds, basically. All right. What about another one? Descender? Did Jeff Lemire write, and then boom, a beam went into Quan's back? No. Fucking
probably did.
Dustin Nguyen. Fucking, all you see is a fucking laser beam going through his fucking chest. So, I mean, he might have wrote it in the script, but did he write it on the page? No. It's behind the scenes. No one gives a shit. First come, first serve. Art. Okay? Oh, what is one of the best silent issues I've ever read is when Damian dies in Batman and Robin. I mean, I don't know who did that art. I think it was Gleason. It was Gleason. He did that whole silent issue. By the end, tears. Tears coming down my eyes. Being like, why did we lose that brave little man?
What did you say, Mickey?
What?
What was it, Mickey?
What are you talking about? I haven't gotten there yet. Okay. So all I know is when it comes to art in a book, you got to drive this man down hard. Okay. I'll always be in your corner. You know, that's what the art says to the writer. So, need lightning fast art. All right, thanks.
Marvin, what's your rebuttal?
Minute on the clock, please.
Go.
Let me tell you something. You just brought up a good point for me. Thank you. Was Batman and Robin issue, silent issue?
Mm-hmm. Requiem.
So when Gleason, Tomasi, who does the art?
Gleason.
When Gleason does the art in that issue, he's credited as the writer. Because you cannot write a comic book, even the silent issues, without good writing. There's a script. The script tells you exactly what's laid out, and you lay it out. That's why so many of these writers are becoming, so many of these artists are becoming writers. It's because the writing, it's like you need this direction to make good art. And so they see it from the writers and they do it. So then they become the writers themselves because they know they give themselves direction. You never see a writer be like, I'm going to become an artist. When have you seen that ever? Because writing is where it's at. Hold on a second. Also, Marvel said that artists don't count for shit, so I'm going with them.
All right, my 1 minute.
Yep.
I'm going to bring up one artist, and this just win my fucking case right here. Brett Booth. Best artist on the planet? Fuck no.
I was thinking, if you say yes, you're not going to win.
I mean, you get him on a book versus, say, like Kenneth Rockefeller on Titans. Was that Brett Booth issue ever going to be good? No. Because Brett Booth sucks. But somebody like Kenneth Rockefeller has the guns to be able to present whoever shitty story they like. Dan Abnett, he wrote out a script like do this, but he carried it out. All right, so I got 20 seconds left on the clock, and I already just won this fucking case by saying think of Brett Booth. Okay, so I mean. Trying to think of a good Rocky quote, but I can't think of one right now.
I wonder why.
But, I will break you. So
Thanks, Bane.
Drago.
Is that Drago? Well, Bane says it too, doesn't he?
Maybe. Possibly.
Probably at some point.
Which came first, though? Chicken or the egg?
But I didn't hear no bell.
Oof.
So, get up, you son of a bitch. Garrett loves you.
Jeez. To be fair, I kind of like you, Marvin. I was actually leaning towards art, but I never actually thought about that. The writer really does probably make the script of this is what would like you to draw within this rough. I get that the artist has a choice. I'm probably going to go with writing is stronger.
2-0.
I agree with you though. In real life, I mean, like art
Generally
is
speaking, art
fantastic.
is my
I think
choice.
it's a 50-50. I mean, you have to put as much faith in the artist as you do the writer.
Like in Lazarus,
It's hard to get past bad art. However, I think you can. I think the most important part of a comic book is writing.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, if you have bad writing and it's over nice looking pictures, you're just looking at pictures. What are you doing?
But I see it as that I'm more forgiving to bad writing and good art than I am.
But that's what I mean.
Good writing and bad.
It's easier
art.
to look at good art and be like, "Oh, that's good," but when you look at good writing is very subtle. So when you have good writing, you don't notice it. When you have bad writing, you're like, "This is horrible." And good art and bad art, either way, you're like, "Oh, this is good because it's visual. It's easier to see." So I think there's definitely more people are like right away be like, "Oh, I like this art." When they're picking up a book, it's obviously a thing that people do when they pick up a book. They, "Oh, I like this art. I'm going to pick up this issue." But at the end of the day, if you don't have a Greg Rucka, like a Jason Aaron, like somebody who's writing the book, great. If you have a book that's like a writer that's not giving you what you want, at the end of the day, you can drop that book, no matter how beautiful it is. For instance, that Spider-Man 2, probably going to drop it. I love that art, though.
Well, I was going to say, actually, like Jason Aaron, you brought up Southern Bastards is one of those books. I like Jason Latour, but it's more of Jason Aaron's writing that actually keeps me in the book, seeing where the story's going.
Those two books.
Less what the art is telling me.
I guarantee you, though, Jason Latour helps with that story, though.
Oh, no, I'm sure
That's
he
what
does.
I mean. So, like,
I mean, it's a shared.
It's shared both ways.
It's unfortunate to go with an image choice because it is a shared dream.
Well, that's what I mean, though. Like
a shared story.
Artist and a writer, like the artist is helping the writer like write the story. A lot of times when you get these like image books that are like a team, they're like, "Hey, this is where I want it to go." And a lot of the direction of the stuff, like they're contributing to the script. So obviously, it's more important rather than Jason Aaron's not contributing to the art. Like, "Hey, let me draw that page for you." No, it's all Jason Latour. Because it's more of a skill, but it's more important. The other one, you have a captain and you have the other guy. Like,
Give it to Neil.
give it to Neil this season.
Captain to Neil.
Oh, Captain to Neil. That's been Wednesday Comics, episode 60. We didn't mention at the top. Episode 60, that is the temperature in here in Celsius, which means, what is it?
Let's see, what, almost like 80 degrees?
0 Kelvin.
Oh, it's hotter than that. We'll figure it out here.
138 degrees Fahrenheit.
Kelvin.
What is 60 degrees Celsius?
60 degrees Celsius, you big dummy. Yeah.
In Fahrenheit. 140 degrees in here.
Holy
So we're
fuck.
dead.
Fahrenheit.
Ask Siri, what's The Rock doing right
Send good wishes. Make sure to visit our funeral, so you're all invited to the wakes of Wednesday Comics. That's been the show for this week. We've been in court. Is in session. Nobody came, so it was just judges and lawyers arguing it out. All the jury said this is too hot, and they all dipped.
Can I say one last thing about the courts?
Yeah.
Is I think we did so well in the court system that I think the final word should be, let's just join the circus.
Remember, at Wednesday Comics on Twitter, at Alex Pastrallo, at Garrett2188, at Marvin _Saguero, or at Pastrami _news. Follow us on Twitter. Let us know at Wednesday Comics who do you think won those cases, or on Facebook at facebook.com/Wednesday Comics Podcast. Make sure to go to WednesdayComics.com if you ever need more information. Go and find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio. I don't know why I point to all this for that. Do me a favor if you haven't yet. If you think that you're like, hey, I don't listen through iTunes, but everybody has access to iTunes. If you can go and leave us a review or a rating, it really does help. It puts us into the algorithm. I don't know how it works. I'm not a computer genius, but it helps put it in more people's suggestions. So go ahead and leave us a review. There's been some people who have been grateful enough. Well, have been good enough to leave reviews. Thank you very much. As a last favor for us before we die, leave us a review. Make sure to visit our sponsors, rootsoftheswampthing.com. You know why? Because it's like a swamp in here, and we are getting in the environment. We're saying that's what we're doing right now. This is homage to rootsoftheswampthing.com. go to rainbowcomicsandcards.com. You can get online orders to mail to you for a shipping price, or you can stop by Sioux Falls or Lincoln, Nebraska, and get your comics in store. Somebody today, actually, when I was there, JP was like, "Hey, we have a dollar wall if you want to get some comics off there," because he was getting some Star Wars comics, and they had Star Wars on the dollar wall, and the guy's like, "Oh, you have a dollar wall?" So we went over there and bought some more, which is a good thing. I mean, if you're gonna try something out, sometimes a lot of times there's comics on there. You're like, "Oh yeah, I heard about that. Let's try it out." Get $1, $1. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do? You're gonna buy that comic? Or you can't even buy a soda anymore. What are you gonna buy for $1?
Yeah.
Not even dollar menus are like $1.29 now. What are you doing? Anything else in the thing? I don't. For Wednesday Comics, oh, change your thing. For Wednesday Comics, I've been Judge Marvin.
Oof, I'm the prosecutor, Alex.
And I'm the good-looking Garrett.
Whatever. Hey, everyone, keep turning those pages.
I love you, Rock.